Howdy, everybody. Welcome to Liberty Call for Tuesday, March 4th, 2025. Hope you're having a fantastical day out there in the interwebs. We got snow last night. Excuse me. Throat's better. So not that tickle like I had yesterday. Like I said, we got snow overnight, but it didn't stick to the ground. So I did not have to get out the snow blower because my wife is coming back into town from her short trip to Florida. Her dad had passed away, her biological father had passed away on last month sometime. And so they had a service. So anyways, I don't think she was that sad, but they weren't that close. Anyways, but yeah, the snow, it hit the ground and melted, which saved me a lot of trouble. I mean, it's kind of staying in the grass and stuff. But anyways, you really don't care out there, right? All right. Well, markets are sliding as Trump's new tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and China escalate global trade tensions. The Dow is down 0.9%. The S&P is off by 0.6%, and the NASDAQ is barely holding on to a 0.2% gain. I think it lost it. Yes, it did. Thanks to tech rebounds from NVIDIA and Microsoft. Bank stocks are getting hammered. Consumer confidence is plunging, and volatility is surging. Meanwhile, Canada is hitting back with its own 25% tariffs, and safe haven assets like gold are climbing. So before we break all the news down, I need some help from you out there. Could you give me some thumbs up, a like, a share, subscribe, a follow, and press the notification bell? Because, again, I say smart things at least twice a week. This could be the day, folks. This could be the day. All right. Well, let's get into the markets. Dow Jones was down 1.55%, 669 points. It got worse since I created my intro. Closed at 42,521. S&P 500 down 1.22%, 71 points, closed at 57.78. NASDAQ down 0.35%, 65 points, closed at 18,285. The VIX was up today, 2.81%. It's at 23.42. And now's as good a time as any. Let me let's pause this here. The way the VIX works, at least in my mind, is it's the volatility index based upon the S&P 500. So it's not going to tell you, the Dow or the NASDAQ or whatever. It gives you the volatility of the S&P, which is the broader market of the U.S. So the way I look at it is anything under 20 is kind of your green light. 20 to 30 is, we're in a little bit of danger. It's like your yellow light when you're approaching an intersection. Look both ways, proceed with caution. If it's above 30, I view as red. That's a red light. Stop. Look both ways. If you really want to keep going, that's on you. But again, be careful out there because we're in a high level of volatility. So again, be careful that's what you really should. That's how I view the VIX. So, anyways, all right, moving on. Canada down 1.72, Brazil down 1.6, and Mexico up 0.59. In Europe, Germany down, 3.53%. The UK down 1.27%. France down 1.85%. The Netherlands down 1.76%. Spain down 2.55%. Italy down 3.41%. Switzerland down 1.22%. And Portugal down 1.64%. In the Russian exchanges, they're in the green. MOEX up 2.9%. RTSI up 2.91%. And the overnight markets, the Nikkei in Japan was down 1.34%. Australia down 0.58%. New Zealand down 0.42%. In China, the Shanghai was up 0.22%. Shenzhen Component up 0.28%. China A50 down 0.88%. DJ Shanghai up 0.45%. Hang Seng down 0.28%. And the Taiwan weighted down 0.7%. All right. And my little connection thing says it's unstable. So for losing bandwidth here, I apologize. Okay. Let's get into the market recap. S&P 500 pairs losses on dip buying in tech. Trump threatens further tariffs. All righty. The S&P 500 trimmed its losses on Tuesday, buoyed by dip buying in tech stocks, even as global trade war concerns continue to loom over the market. NVIDIA surged more than 3%, helping lift the broader market after a steep sell-off in the previous session. Citi reaffirmed its positive outlook on the chip maker, saying NVIDIA's investment case remains strong despite a recent 13% decline in its stock price post-earnings. Other big tech names like Alphabet also jumped 3%, further supporting the market's recovery. Escalating trade war, U.S. tariffs, and retaliation. Trade tensions intensified as President Trump confirmed 25% tariffs on Canadian imports, 25% on Mexico, and an additional 10% on Chinese imports. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who was just on my television a moment ago, responded with a matching 25% tariff on $20 billion worth of U.S. goods. Trump retaliated with a threat to increase the U.S. tariff further if Canada moves ahead with its countermeasures. China announced retaliatory tariffs ranging from 10 to 15% on key U.S. agriculture products, including chicken, wheat, corn, soybeans, pork, beef, and dairy. Let's pause here for a second. The United States has a large section of farming from like the Appalachians to the Rockies, and you got more on beyond that, but it's just basically the Great Plains, from the Rockies to the Appalachians is nothing but farmland. I mean, depending upon where you're at, if you're down in the Mississippi Valley, you got that black dirt that's super good. Get up more in the Midwest, it's probably better for like your corn and your grains. Just because it's a little drier out here. But, there's cattle all over the place, chickens everywhere. I mean, we can do all this stuff domestically. I mean, you could do it yourself. I'm actually considering getting a chicken coop so I can have my own eggs and maybe get some raise some fryer birds. They only take about 2 months from egg to full size before you harvest them. So anyways, I wouldn't worry. I mean, granted, we are a lazy nation and we like to outsource everything. So the fact that we're getting a lot of our, grains and beets and things from China, it really doesn't shock me. I think we also get a lot of it from like Brazil. So, we'll raise something here and send it off to like Europe while we'll get our beef from like Brazil or China, which doesn't make any sense. All right, let's get back into it. I've been rambling long enough. Mexico also pushed back with President Claudia Sheinbaum, she sounds Mexican, vowing to announce retaliatory tariffs this weekend. Analysts at Citi noted that current S&P 500 global estimates may not fully reflect the risk posed by these tariffs, potentially leading to downward revisions in the coming months. Trump is set to deliver his first address to Congress later in the day, where he may reveal details about a mineral rights deal with Ukraine. From what I've seen in the news, Zelensky may be coming back with his hat in hand saying, I'm sorry, I'll do whatever you say. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm going off speculation I've been seeing on social media. Investors are watching closely for clues on his broader foreign and economic policies. Retail stocks face a mixed reaction. Several major retail earnings were in focus. Target fell 4% after issuing a cautious sales growth outlook, citing uncertainty over Trump's trade policies. Best Buy sank 13%. Despite strong holiday sales, season sales, and as concerns over consumer spending trends and promotional pressures weighed on stocks. Nord Stream ticked up 0.2%, reporting better than expected sales, though its CFO Kathy Smith announced she will step down. AutoZone gained 1.1% despite missing quarterly revenue estimates, as current fluctuations of weaker consumer spending created headwinds. I apologize, AutoZone. I haven't been in the last quarter to buy oil or window washer fluid or anything, so it's my fault. All right, finishing up. While Tuesday's tech rebound softened the market's decline, the ongoing trade war and upcoming earnings revisions remain key risks for investors in the coming weeks. All right, I rambled there for a bit, so I apologize, folks. I can be a bit long-winded. All right, next up, got an article from Yahoo Finance, why Social Security's former head is worried it could miss payments for seniors. This was written by, who wrote this? Jordan Weissman. So let's see if this is fear mongering or if there's, some, I mean, as a financial planner, financial advisor, investment advisor, all the little, ridiculous titles, basically I help people with money. But, it's always good to have, 3 to 6 months, especially, or if you're retired, a year or two's worth of cash flow or spending set aside just for these sort of emergencies. I don't think Social Security is going to miss any payments. I mean, they'll miss payments for military and stuff like that before they'll, hose seniors. At least that's my personal view. All right, so let's get into this. The Social Security Administration is facing a potential crisis as the Trump administration's aggressive staffing cuts. It's staffing. They're trying to, put fear into you by saying, oh my God, if there's less people working there, you may not get your money. It's automated, folks. Staffing cuts threaten its ability to issue payments to seniors. Martin O'Malley, former Social Security commissioner, has warned that the agency could fail to send checks on time for the first time in history due to the planned 12% of workforce reduction. The SSA plans to reduce its workforce from approximately 57,000 to 50,000, down from 66,000 just a decade ago. These cuts primarily target non-essential roles, but experts warn they will cripple operations, especially IT and customer service. Well, if you could look at like Twitter or X as it's called now, Elon went in there and like fired 75% of the workforce. He kept the people that keep the operations running. And anyone who's ever run a small business knows that you really only need the people who either make you money, either sell products or provide the service for your products or fix things for people or whatever it might be. And then you got your back office staff who don't make money for you, but in some ways they can free up your time so that your salespeople or your investment advisor, all he does is just go to meetings. He doesn't write the financial plans or type his letters or whatever. I'm a one-man shop, so I do it all. I write my own plans, I type my own letters, I do everything myself. So I do my own analysis. So from that perspective, you could run a business really, really lean, and it's still going to work. And quite honestly, I personally, having worked in big corporate America and small branch offices and in my own little practice here, you stay on top of things better when you're the person in charge of things. So I don't see this as being a terrible thing. All right. Let's see here. Aging IT systems are a major concern. SSA's computers rely on COBOL, which that was around when I was back in school in the 80s and 90s. An outdated programming language, and many tech staff are approaching retirement because you couldn't teach these boy wonders to learn COBOL. I think they could be done. Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency mistakenly listed SSA's contract with Leidos as canceled, sparking fears that vital IT maintenance has been defunded. A loss of experienced workers could lead to errors in updating benefits, including annual cost of living adjustments, which require manual oversight and extensive testing. You can't put a macro into the system that just goes in and does the calculations by itself. Seriously? I mean, come on. Again, I'm not a tech expert. I've done programming, back in previous, careers. I've done, financial analysis. So, I mean, I have to imagine they'll figure it out. All right. So even if payments continue, even if payment, listen how this is worded. Seniors may face longer wait times for benefits and difficulty accessing customer service, because anytime you call the government, you never sit on hold. Because the few times I've had to call the IRS for a letter they sent or a question I had, I was on hold, or my former partner, Tim, was on hold for 2 or 3 hours at a time. So don't give me that crap. Backlogs for disability claims have already surged, with average wait times exceeding 6 months. So that sounds like a problem in their department. Call center delays are expected to worsen, making it harder for seniors to apply for or resolve issues with benefits. If Social Security payments are delayed, it could financially devastate millions of elderly Americans. They don't get their checks on the 3rd like they used to. I only know that because when I was a debt collector, when you're collecting money from seniors, that's when they could make their payments. 21% of seniors rely on Social Security for at least 75% of their income. SSA has already suffered a major IT failures, including 2 shutdowns in 2024. Experts warn that future outages could take weeks to resolve. Retaliation from Canada, Mexico, and China over tariffs may also add financial uncertainty for retirees. Well, just throw everything in that you can think of. So what's next? SSA has not publicly addressed concerns about payment interruptions, but experts caution that staff reductions will weaken the agency's ability to function. Nancy Altman of Social Security Works says AI won't replace human support for seniors navigating the system. Yeah, they can't even operate a cell phone. Why would they be able to navigate phone systems? With Trump pushing further government cuts, SSA's future remains uncertain, and seniors may be the ones paying the price. Hey, they should just be lucky they're getting their checks right now. I mean, with the insolvency that we're headed towards, it could be bad. Anyways, all right. Seems like that was more fear mongering than anything. They didn't actually present any real evidence that there's going to be any real problems. All right. Well, with these tariffs going into place, people are wondering, well, what's going to be more expensive and when? So first thing we'll probably see is gas prices. So this article, also from Yahoo Finance, where gas prices are likely to rise on the heels of Trump's tariffs. So for most of y'all that I talk to are, down in along I-10, Texas, Florida, that area, probably not going to see much of a change. All right. So gas prices in several U.S. states are expected to increase on tariffs on Canadian oil products. Take effect under President Trump's trade policy. The Trump administration's imposed 25% tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico, but crude oil products from Canada face a 10% levy. The U.S. imports roughly 4 million barrels of oil per daily from Canada, with much of it traveling via pipelines to the Midwest, Rockies, and Great Lakes region. However, New England is particularly vulnerable as it receives refined fuel products directly from Canada. As a result, gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel prices in states like Maine, Vermont, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and New Hampshire could rise by 20 to 40 cents per gallon by mid-March, according to Gas Buddy analyst Patrick DeHaan. Wholesale prices or hikes are already underway. Gas station prices are expected to rise by 15 to 25 cents per gallon, according to Andy Lepeau, president of Lepeau Oil Associates. Irving Oil, Canada's largest refining operator, raised prices by 10% immediately after the tariffs took effect. Goldman Sachs analysts predict that both Canadian oil producers and U.S. consumers will share the cost burden, as Midwestern refinery margins are already tight. Oil prices could decline long-term as broad-based tariffs are expected to weigh on global economic growth and demand. West Texas Intermediate crude hovers near $68 a barrel, which is good. It's been down the last month or so. While Brent crude trades above 70, continuing a 6% year-to-date decline. The OPEC recently announced plans to restart curb production, which could further pressure oil prices, meaning if they're going to produce more oil, prices will continue to fall, which is good for you, the consumer. Maybe not good if you're ExxonMobil. While short-term fuel costs will rise, potential global demand slowdowns could ultimately drive oil prices lower in the long run. All right, so it's kind of neat. For me, I might see prices go up a little bit, but I put fuel in my truck. It holds 76 gallons at a time, so unless I'm taking a long road trip with the trailer, I get put diesel in it like twice a year. So anyways, all right. Well, that's everything that I had to cover for today. If anyone needs anything from me, please go to DSAFinancialGroup.com. All your financial planning needs can be addressed there. So give me a buzz. I'll be happy to help. All right. Well, everyone out there, I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I'll talk to everyone again next time. Adios.